question. It's going to sound condescending. It's going to sound rather ignorant, whatever. Maybe it's also going to sound a little bit extra cocky given that the Astros have, struggled against teams from the National League East in the World Series. But are the Phillies actually good? I'm trying to figure that out because they are hot, but does hot mean good? I mean, we've all seen, I don't know, as described to me once, I remember on a vacation I went on, I was dancing with somebody who was described to me as Galveston Hot. What does that mean? No offense to the fine people of Galveston, but very attractive, but just a little bit of flavor, if you will. Some tats everywhere in weird places. A chest tattoo on a woman, not the most flattering thing. It's not the best look. But I think the Phillies are Galveston Hot. They're playing well of late. I still don't really trust them as far as a serious challenge to the Astros. All I am doing, though, to make myself feel like I am not overconfident is continuously reminding myself they lost to a red-hot Nationals team that was not one of the best teams in the National League, at least going into the postseason, though you felt pretty good about their chances because of the pitching that they had going up against the Dodgers early on in those playoffs. And then, of course, the Atlanta Braves. I mean, that was a damn good team that took down the Astros in last year's World Series. So I'm trying to be as respectful as I possibly can. But again, are the Phillies actually good? They're hot now. They've won 9 of their 11 postseason games. But the weird thing is, and we saw them in the very last series of the season at Minute Maid Park. We all remember it because Phil Maton, going up against his little bro, broke his hand after allowing a hit, and he's off the postseason roster, and I don't think anyone really misses him that much. I do feel bad for Phil Maton. Over that stretch from September 15th through October 5th, Philadelphia was 7-13. They finished the year with the 11th best record in baseball, 87-75. That's only better than the Rays going into this postseason. So are they actually good? Do you base your feelings about the Philadelphia Phillies on what they've done in the regular season? Or do you base it off of what they've done over the past couple of weeks? I took a look at some more numbers here. They're actually pretty comparable offensively to the Astros, the Philadelphia Phillies are. Oh, Paul's going to read a bunch of statistics. Listen, I'm trying to do the baseball work. I'm trying to be baseball Paul, okay? And I didn't bring up Klondorp or ex-Wobier or all that other crap, okay? Just comparing the normal statistics. The Astros were 4th in home runs this year. The Phillies, 6th. We're talking about all of baseball. The Astros were 5th in slugging this year. The Phillies, right behind them by .002 points at 6th. Batting average? Ooh. The Phillies were 8th. The Astros, 12th. Runs scored, Philly, 7. Houston, 8. OPS, Houston, 7th. Philly, 8th. Bats are comparable. And you take a look at the big bats that the Phillies have. I don't want the Astros to pitch to Bryce Harper once in this World Series. He is on a bleeping tear. He's hitting .419, a 1351 OPS, 5 home runs, 6 doubles this postseason. Do not pitch to him. Do the Paul Gallant MVP Baseball 2005 video game strategy of throwing at him every single at-bat. I can't say. I think that Philadelphia would probably go about it the same way, say, a Phillies fan was in control of the Phillies in a baseball video game. They'd probably throw out Jose Altuve. They'd probably throw out Alex Bregman. Just saying. Kyle Schwarber, who they got at the trade deadline, has 3 home runs this postseason, an 832 OPS. JT Realmuto, Gene Segura, they've both been decent. And Rhys Hoskins, who is hitting 182, has 5 home runs. They got some pop in that lineup. Do they have more pop than the Yankees? I don't know if I quite go that far. The pitching is where it's not really a contest, where, yes, the Astros and Phillies didn't allow many home runs this season. Phillies 5th in home runs allowed. Wow, Paul, look at all this work you did. Astros 2nd in home runs allowed. Pat yourself on the back. But this is the difference, and it's pretty stark. The Astros ERA, 2nd in all of baseball to the Dodgers, which is kind of funny. The Dodgers had number 1 statistics in a lot of things. And that goes to show that statistics don't ultimately mean a whole damn thing, a whole damn much. Philadelphia, 18th in ERA. Walks, hits per innings pitched, Astros second, Philly 14th. That's the difference. And that's been the difference between the Astros and everyone that they've gone up against this postseason as well. They have better pitching than Seattle. They have better pitching than New York. Though it's a little bit closer, I think, with New York. Still, better pitching. And I think they have better pitching than Philadelphia. And they should win this World Series. But I'm wondering if this Philadelphia team is actually good. And that's where you get to come in. 713-780-3776. 713-780-ESPN. You can tweet me at Gallant Says. Some comments. You can join us on Twitch, twitch.tv/ESPN975. Pinche says, you're overthinking it, Paulie. Trust in Dusty. I don't think that I have, like, real concerns over this series. I just want to know if the Philadelphia Phillies are good. Because on paper, like, they're not that impressive. Similar from a bats perspective. Pitching perspective, I mean, unless you're scared of Zach Wheeler, who has been their best starter. He's been a horse this postseason. In their 9 games to this point. Hang on, did I do that right? No. In their 11 games to this point, he's started 4 of them. 4 quality starts in each of them. They haven't won every single time that he's pitched, but he has looked pretty damn good. Just 1 home run allowed, 25 and a third innings pitched, 25 strikeouts, a 1.78 ERA. He's been their best pitcher. Aaron Nola's been okay, 3.12 ERA, at least comparatively. They do not have the same kind of pitching. And I don't want to sound like I'm disrespecting a team from the National League East. I don't. But I am not convinced that they are good. And yet, I will leave it to you. So I don't have to be the person who has to eat bleep like a Philadelphia sports fan a couple of weeks from now. Check that, I guess it's not a couple of weeks from now. A week plus from now, should the Astros find themselves on the losing end of the World Series.
Yeah, it's more, I'm not saying that there's any voodoo with it being an NL East team that seems overmatched against the Astros, but it's just a situation of this is the exact game plan or the exact blueprint of a team that has beaten the Astros in the past.
Yes.
Even last year's Braves team was not this year's Braves team.
Correct.
There were, I think, also 90, maybe 91, 2 wins last year, and it was Eddie Rosario and Jock Peterson and Jorge Soler that beat him. It wasn't Acuna, it wasn't Freeman, it wasn't all the guys you know. This one, it's Bryce Harper. It's
really has been.
It's Kyle Schwarber. It's Rhys Hoskins with his 5 home runs in 11 games. It's the guys who you think are gonna beat you that have been red hot leading the Phils to this point.
I do find it funny that a fan will tell another fan, hey, we got to focus on the opponent at hand here. Hey, we got to make sure that we take the Phillies seriously. Now, of course, you're going to be a little bit sensitive to the fact that over the last 2 years, the last 2 World Series appearances, that the Astros lost to teams that they were definitely favored against. The Braves, the Nationals, they're both National League East teams. I do think that you're allowed to feel pretty confident going into this World Series, given that the Astros have won 7 games in a row. But you're also probably remembering those last couple of times, and you're like, okay, we got to take them seriously. But by the way, it's not up to you. That is not your job. Just want to remind you. That is the Astros' job. And hopefully the We Want Houston chants from the Phillies crowd that you just heard right there is once again a little shot in the arm for an Astros team that has been an absolute wagon this postseason.
No, Paul, you need to take the Phillies more seriously.
Why do I have to take them more seriously?
No, you do.
Why?
No, you do. Because if you don't take them seriously, then Justin Verlander won't take them seriously. Then Framber Valdez won't take him seriously.
And Jeremy Pena won't take him seriously.
I mean, he's already got a trophy. He doesn't know that there's another round. He's like, oh, wow, we did champagne again. Okay, I guess we're done, right? I got the MVP. All right, see you next year. It's like, no, Jeremy, we have another game against the Phillies. Now he's driving around his car right now. Listen to you.
It's
take
true.
him lightly.
Okay, well, Jeremy Pena in your car. Okay? Listen, the postseason isn't all roses. It's not all wins. Now, you might be Houston's Tom Brady just based off of your start in the postseason. Undefeated to open up your career. But remember, losses are possible. And you know what is unacceptable here in Houston? A playoff loss. I want a perfect postseason. Okay? So you got to focus on the task at hand. Thank you, Sean, for taking me to task. Sometimes you need a little bit of help.
Yeah, you need to focus. The entire city needs to focus. Not just Astros fans, everyone living in the city of Houston and the surrounding suburbs need to focus and take the Phillies seriously.
You might have a job that you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, you should be focusing on the Phillies.
The people at NASA, sorry, don't stop looking at the satellites. Focus on the Phillies.
Bleep them satellites, okay? What's Bryce Harper's ex-Wobier?
Hi, I'm guessing.
I am too. Sounds like that's true. That might not even be the right statistic. I don't care. You should be looking it up.
Unless it's a statistic where it's good to be low, then it's low. It's whatever good is for ex-Woba.
Sean, we have a ton of engineers in this city. Should they not be trying to construct the perfect launch angle to take down Philadelphia Phillies ace Zach Wheeler?
Whatever they're doing, they need to figure out A, for games 1 and 2, and 6 and 7 if necessary. Should the roof be open or not? Will that affect the opposite team and not the Astros?
There's only one pipeline that matters, Sean. It ain't about that oil. It's about the Astros run production. That is the pipeline we care about, okay? So get your head out of your asses, people. You got to focus on the Phillies.